Good Saturday afternoon, everyone. Forecaster Josiah Acheampong here. We're going to begin taking a look out at our Bushland sky cam off in the distance there, looking west. We're looking at a storm, one of several, many actually, popping up over the panhandle this afternoon. We did briefly have a severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for parts of Briscoe and Hall County on the southern portion of our viewing area, but that has since expired. We currently just have a few strong storms in the area that can have gusty winds, heavy downpour. As we take a look at this one specifically there, just west of Bushland, we can see the rain curtain there. So we're seeing the rain fall from the cloud to the ground there. And we'll see more of that as the night progresses. But as we take a look at what's going on across the panhandle, however, as we take a look there at our radar, we're noticing again, we're seeing the radar begin to light up just west of Amarillo, a little bit closer. We can take a look there into Vega, near Vega, actually. We're seeing some storms there pop up. We're seeing some of those bright reds and purples indicating some very high cloud tops, intense downpours, probably some gusty winds. Can't rule out possible hail associated with some of these storms, especially if they get their act together, if they really tap in to some of that moisture and available instability in the atmosphere. We can see these storms begin to blossom. But overall, they're slower in movement, but they are putting down some heavy rain precipitation rates for sure. But as the night progresses, we can see a few more pop up before they should clear out. But in terms of our temperatures, right now, temperature here in Amarillo, we're sitting at 94 degrees with that wind coming out of the south around 6 miles an hour. So pretty calm for Amarillo standards, but overall, a beautiful day here in the Panhandle. But across the region, temperatures mainly in the 90s, although Childress showing up there with a temperature of 101 degrees. So that's going to be our hot spot for this afternoon. But here are some of the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day here in the Panhandle. If you want to go out onto the lake, bring your boat. If you want to go out on the walk, go to the canyon. It's going to be a beautiful day across the Panhandle, although we can't rule out some isolated storms. We'll time that out coming up in just a little bit. Temperatures, though, will be closer to normal throughout much of this week as high pressure continues to dominate. But as that high pressure kind of meanders across portions of the southeast and tries to make its way west, that's going to leave us with a damp finish to the work week. But let's break down tomorrow hour by hour. We wake up around 8 a.m. Temperature is going to begin mainly in the upper 60s, low to mid 70s, and we take off. Temperatures tomorrow should reach the mid to upper 90s by the time we get into that mid to late afternoon time frame. Around 5 o'clock, temperature around 94 degrees, so balmy for sure. But let's time all this out at our model as we go over the next several hours. We'll see, as the model is trying to indicate here, some isolated storm chances throughout the rest of this evening. But the the bulk of us, though, should remain fairly clear. But again, we can't rule out a pop-up thunderstorm throughout this evening. We wake up tomorrow morning, temperatures in the 60s and 70s. We almost have a repeat of today, but our rain chances are just going to be a little bit lower in terms of what can actually happen in terms of those storms popping up. But it is going to be something to think about, especially if you have any afternoon planned for sure. I think the highest risk of storms will remain over eastern New Mexico for sure. Union, Curry, and Quay County should definitely keep their eye out for some possible storms, as well as the western panhandles. As we head into Sunday evening, again, we clear out. We wake up Monday, temperatures again in the 70s, a few 60s sprinkled in there for eastern New Mexico. We have our temperatures warm up into the low to mid 90s, but we could see some 80s. Clovis there Monday looking like 88 for both you, Hereford, and Vega there, going to be some of the cooler spots there in the 80s. Now, we've been talking about this area of high pressure over portions of the eastern southeast that's been sparking numerous heat alerts over portions of the southeast region as well as the mid-Atlantic. They could break records, but as the week goes on, we will eventually see that high pressure kind of meander to the south and west, moving over to portions of the Texas-Oklahoma border. And depending on how far west that high pressure gets, that's going to set up that ridge and steer some low level moisture into our area by the time we get to the ending of this week. So when we take a look uh, uh, at our 7 day forecast, you'll notice by the time we get to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we do have an increased chance for some of those storms. And again, depending on how far west that high pressure gets to the panhandle, that won't only dictate how warm we'll be, but also what our chances for precip will look like. So we'll keep an eye on that. Make sure you're staying weather aware. Thank you for tuning in. We'll keep an eye on those storms as they continue to develop the rest of this evening, but make sure that you watch us here at ABC7 starting at 6 p.m. and then again at 10 p.m. this evening. I hope you all have a great rest of your day and take care.